We had a very unique tour group come to the Cocopah Museum today, and we'd like to share their thoughts and have them talk about what this experience was like. Moon Beyond, you are a research aide at the Argonne National Laboratory, and Morgan Bartley, you are an engineering student. And tell us what your experience was like today at Cocopah.
Well, it was absolutely amazing. We got to learn so much about the folks here, the culture, the act of preserving culture, and also just so much insight onto the projects that we're trying to do, learning about the land, learning about respecting the land, and in the context of how engineering fits into that.
And Morgan, tell us what was this like? This is your first time coming here, is that correct?
Yes, it is my first time coming here, but I am indigenous. I am part Cherokee and Tuscarora, so I have a little bit of a background in it, so it's my culture as well, a little bit on the side, but it was really cool to see, I guess, a different culture from what I'm used to. It was really cool to see the preservation and just everything that you guys have to offer.
And for us, this was really a unique group because you've given how many countless tours?
Countless tours, presentations, yes. What is different is that, not including counting the age difference, but normally we cater to 4th, 5th, 6th graders, some high schoolers. Once in a while we'll get some adult groups that come through, but as far as engineering students with a lot of really deep questions, that was quite unique in its way that I found more a bit refreshing and kind of exciting because it kind of digs in a little deeper into aspects of the culture that we may not have thought about or had concerns about, but your group was able to bring that today.
And one of the things that was really amazing is that all of you come from different parts of the country, and for some this was their first time visiting a Native American tribe, and sometimes first time coming to Arizona as well. What inspired you to connect with Cocopah and reach out and bring these students here?
Absolutely. So the EcoCar EV Challenge tasks 15 different universities across North America to build an electric vehicle. A subset of that is both the communication stream and equity mobility stream. Equity mobility leads are tasked with looking and investigating their community, partnering with a community benefits organization or community-based organization to then solve a mobility challenge that a stakeholder has. This can be almost anything, and we have so many different people from so many different places. In a moment, Morgan will give you her experiences, but in a general sense, we have all these different people and all these different places that they can come from, and we have to try to also impart that education about how you engage these communities. The reason we wanted to work with Cocopah specifically is because you guys also do that. You guys will work with communities that come here to educate them about your organization. I also believe that Native and Indigenous learning is super important for engineers to keep close to their heart, to engage with, to learn about. There's so many stories we've heard today about things that we are faced with and challenges that we're faced with today that Native people have been thinking about for eons, 3,000 years according to Joe. So that's the type of learning we want to impart onto the students. Think about these challenges, think about which land you're on, think about who was on this land and who continues to be on this land when we build these electric vehicles.
Absolutely. And Morgan, what really struck you? What stood out in this experience?
What stood out in this experience was Joe was speaking on how engineering has affected the tribe and how it has actually changed, not necessarily for the better, things around the area. We need to, as engineers, pause when we're making something, when we're doing anything, and think about who else we are affecting other than ourselves.
And Joe, what do you think about the perspectives that were brought to the table where everyone came together and shared their experiences?
I thought that the questions we had, the comments that were made, that they had a sincere desire to make a difference in this world today, because sometimes we look at the world, it's so much encapsulated in technology that you have the whole world at your fingertips, and it becomes a lot smaller than what we know, what we grew up with, because some of us have not been out of state or out of the country, and so the world has become just one little ball. But then we don't realize that it's so vast that anything that we do could affect something else out there in long term, short term, whatever, but it does make an effect. But with the students here today, it was something that for me, I saw, well, these young people can make a difference, can do something that will benefit us and maybe the future with ideas that, hopefully you can etch my name somewhere along your creation and say that I'm inspiring, that it created something in you to think a little bit deeper, a little bit harder, a little bit longer, and to create something that's going to benefit not just a need, but benefit humanity.
And speaking of that, let's talk about the challenge you took, the electric vehicle challenge that you've been promoting. Tell us about that.
So yep, as I said before, 15 different universities are challenged with re-engineering a Cadillac Lyric provided by General Motors. And this includes many different features, from the self-driving, we call that CAVs, CAVs, self-driving features. Then we have SDI, which is system design, and then we have PCM, which is propulsion. All these different features of the electric vehicles, our students are taking and they're redesigning it, making improvements to make them more energy efficient. Alongside that, we have the equity and mobility stream, who investigates the community that these vehicles are being built in, partners with CBO to build these outreach projects, and sometimes also technical design assistance for the projects. There's two different streams. One is the technical stream, building a vehicle that's more accessible, and then the community outreach stream, making an impact in your community. Finally, there's communications managers, who are primarily responsible for building out the communications plan, engaging stakeholders, doing outreach events. And all these folks will work together to kind of build this electric vehicle to be better. Not only the engineering side of it, which is of course very important, but the whole package as well.
And EV pretty much dominates the news when it comes to talking about alternative energy transportation options. A friend of mine is in Pasadena who runs their hydrogen plant there. And I know that Toyota, from conversations with him, have invested heavily in hydrogen cell vehicles. What are your thoughts on that, both of you?
I can for one say that I don't know a lot about hydrogen cell vehicles. I do know that I believe General Motors has in the past looked into that, and I'm not sure what has come from that, but I think it would be a good option for alternative fuels. So I'm excited to hear more about that in the future.
Okay. And what are some of the things about electric vehicles that most people don't know that they should know?
Well, I think that one of the coolest features of any electric vehicle is how quiet they are. People really say like, oh, when you get into like the Cadillac Lyric or maybe a Tesla, that these vehicles are very quiet. And that would be great coming from a big city with all the honking horns. Nice quiet city would not be something I'm against.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I experienced an electric vehicle last week. We had our students come in from our school here in town, Tierra del Sol, and the bus came in, and it looked a little different than the other buses, only that it had a blue bumper. I'm colorblind, but I can assume it was a blue color, and it was very quiet coming out and greeting me. Then when it stopped, and then I started to look in the wheel well, and I said, what kind of engine do you have in this thing that makes it so quiet? Because normally most buses are diesel, and you can hear diesel a mile away. And then the bus driver opened up their door, he goes, it's electric. Oh. I said, okay, that's very impressive. A whole school bus electric powered. And so hopefully, probably next year, the students come for, when school starts up again, we start having more tours. I think they'll be flying in on buses.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That's the next step.
Well, here's another next step. If you like these videos and podcasts, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and all major platforms. And if you're interested, you can sign up for a free monthly electronic newsletter. Just go to cocopah.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, you can go click on the newsletter tab. And Moon and Morgan, we hope you have a safe trip back to wherever you're going. And thank you for coming to Cocopah. We hope to see all of you again soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
You're
so
very
much.
welcome. Thanks. Take care.